Good evening, everyone. I am joined in the booth here with Miss Amanda Broge. How you doing, Amanda?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem. We are just finishing up warm-ups here at the 2023 Savage Arms Singles Open here in Chicopee, Massachusetts. Again, we're in the round of 16. Just finished up the round of 32. Let's take a look at our winners here. So, in our previous match, we had our number one seed, actually the number one overall seed, Ian Lang, going down to Warren Guernsey. Jesse Gibson defeated Frankie Kalka. Ryan Ladley defeated Steve Engel. He's bowling right here in front of us. Colby Hagemoser defeated Tony Bennett. Dennis Bissonette, our defending champion, just to point that out, defeated Glenn Goff here. Bill Webb defeated Justin Veal. Thomas Coco defeated Malik Grove. Chris Viali defeated Stephen Major. Chris Forey, I know one of your favorites, defeated Brandon Boyer.
My dad.
Joey Transu defeated Steve Blanchette. Chris Soule defeated Isaiah Cleveland. Chris Monmoyer with the win over Mike Lickstein. Brandon Vallone defeated Michael Mirable. John Wilston defeated RJ Broge. Sorry for that. Greg Green defeated Paul Smith. And in our last match in the bracket, Nick Fuller defeated Jamison Matthew. So, again, we're just finishing up warm-ups here for the round of 16. Each player is getting 2 balls per lane. Looks like we're going to be finishing up here. And the matches that you're going to see in front of us, Amanda, let's take a look at these. So, right here in front of us on 33 and 4, we have Ryan Ladley. He's bowling Colby Hagemoser. 35 and 6, which is going to be to our right, is going to be Warren Guernsey bowling Jesse Gibson. You may see some shots to the far right on 37 and 8. That's going to be Brandon Vallone versus John Williston. And then on 31 and 2, we have Chris Soule bowling Chris Monroy.
And, you know, I think we can take a minute to talk about the lane pattern. So it is 44 feet, and I think definitely using the rule of 31. Right, so I definitely think that a lot of the bowlers are looking for their break point to be, you know, in or right outside of the track, and I definitely think we're looking for it to be around 14 at the arrows. Some of our players are inside or outside of that, and then we have some players that just have the opportunity to have a little bit miss left or right.
Yeah, from what I saw here, because I actually didn't get to watch the morning squad at all. I came in the afternoon. It looked like keeping your angles more in front of you seemed to be the plan of attack. I did see some of the players going left to right. The lefties are definitely keeping it in front of them. I've seen a lot of urethane going down the lane on the left-hand side, as well as some bowlers who are right-handed throwing urethane. I believe Forey, he's throwing a purple hammer. I don't think any other righties were throwing urethane that I remember, but yeah, it definitely looked like angles in front of you were pretty good. What would you say the scoring pace was? Like moderate, medium?
I mean, I can be honest with you. I felt like I was, bowling even every game, and then I looked around and I was like, well, I'm doing well. And then, the scoring pace was plus 30 every game. So I definitely think about 230 every game is about average. So I definitely think that it's important to keep the ball in front of you. It's important for the righties to use a little bit of a stronger ball. I think on the burn, it's important that players are using a little bit of a weaker ball. And I do think when I look at Forey, when I look at the right-handers who are successful, they are using urethane balls.
Yeah, I'm actually taking a look at the squad results here. So overall, we had 160 entries, 40 were taken into match play. That's with 22 senior entries, 13 super senior, and 9 women entries. Chris Forey actually led the Saturday squad with plus 191, so he bowled really well. Ian Lang, again, was our overall tournament leader. He actually snapped him off by 1 pin. He went 192 over. And then this afternoon, Michael Mirable went 161 over. And then the at-large cut was plus 80.
Yeah, so I think just having a conversation with Forey, he did definitely use his mindset, which was a little bit of a stronger ball to start. And then depending upon his cross and where he was bowling, he did switch to a little bit of a weaker ball. And then I think in the last 2 games, he did utilize his urethane ball. And I think now that when we're watching him in match play, he is utilizing his purple hammer, and he is playing a little bit more to the right than the rest of our players.
Yeah, he actually came over to me in the middle of his last match, and he said they are definitely a little more snug than what he remembered Saturday night. And again, just thinking the lanes have been oiled 3 other times since then. I think, well, at least twice. And he said they're going to get flatter, they're going to get harder. He's definitely playing further right. But again, if you were in the right part of the lane, you had the right ball in your hand, they were definitely scoreable.
Yeah.
So.
Like I can say, so I did bowl Ryan in the first part of match play, and he was able to miss a little bit left and right. And now we are looking at him on lanes 33 and 34, and I don't think he necessarily has the same miss left or right. So I do think that pair to pair, the lanes are a little bit different.
Yeah, absolutely. And like even just right here in front of us on 35 and 6, you know, Jesse looks like he throws a really good shot, and his ball 8-10s. Not something you normally see. You know, Jesse being a medium, you know, higher rev player, and again, you got to have your ball in the right spot. You got to have the right rotation. You got to have the right touch. Otherwise, you know, you can see those pocket splits. And again, want to give a shout out to Chicopee Lanes here, Bowlero Chicopee, for hosting this event. This is NEBA event number 995, so we're only 5 away from 1,000.
195, how
I know.
exciting.
It's unbelievable. So again, remember everybody, August 19th and 20th is NEBA number 1,000. And that's going to be at Callahan's Bowlerama, and that is actually presented by TechVision. So shout out to Bruce Hall. He's not here with us tonight. He's actually bowling in Allentown, one of my favorite cities to bowl in.
Amazing.
But again, our sponsor here today, Savage Arms, Al Casper. Thank you again, adding $500 to the prize fund here. And again, this is one of those Paul Forey events as well. And if you guys aren't familiar with that, the Paul Forey event is going to be over the course of 8 different tournaments. The top 8 in those tournaments are going to get seeded into a special event, and that's going to be held later on at the end of the year. So that's definitely something to look out for.
And I think that Chris just does an amazing job of supporting bowlers.
Oh, absolutely. And the last live stream I did, because unfortunately I wasn't at the last tournaments, I got to sit with Chris and his wife, and, you know, we got to talk about it, and just, he's such an ambassador. He's just such a great person.
He really is.
And I never had the opportunity to, like, you know, meet his dad, but just to, you know, in the words that he spoke and everything he said about him, he seemed like a really great guy and another great ambassador. He just kind of passed that legacy down to Chris.
Yeah, and I think really, like, Chris really cares about those who just want to be bowlers and those who really care about bowling. And I think he's willing to help anyone who just wants to be better and who loves the sport. And I think that's what's most important.
Absolutely. And again, just want to give a shout out to our other sponsors here. Just going right down the list. We have Tony and Susan Reynaud, Ace Mitchell Bowling Supplies, Better Bowling Concepts, Storm Products International, Chris Forey Buddies Pro Shop, Cambridge Credit Counseling, Logo Infusion, Strike Effects Pro Shops, Turbo Grips, TechVision, Yankee Lanes and Keene, Bullwinkle's Pro Shop, Savage Arms. Again, thank you for supporting us here and being the title sponsor of this tournament. Callahan's Bowlerama. Again, they will be hosting NEBA number 1,000. DJ's Pro Shop, Many Styles of Bowling, Bloomfield Electric, GMS Concrete, Dexter, KR Strikeforce, I should say, Grog Monster Sports, East Coast Sports Investors, Yankee Lanes in Manchester, Ideal Bowling Concept, DJBT, UseBowlingBalls.com, and Island Bowling Supply. So again, want to thank everybody for their sponsorships here. And again, this is going to be another live stream where in the finals, be sure to like and share the live stream and have a chance to be entered into a raffle to win free bowling balls.
Free bowling balls. Oh, that's so exciting. So I'm looking at some of our bowlers, and I've seen some of our left-handers who have been very successful in qualifying. And now I'm looking at them very light in the pocket, and they are definitely struggling. I'm seeing Dennis up on lane, is that lane 30 or 29?
He's stepping up on 29. He's gone double seven spare.
Purple in his hand. Okay. He is dead flush in the pocket on the right-hand lane. He was definitely light with his purple.
Yeah, and Dennis being the defending champion here, I would say this is probably what he would consider his home center, somewhere where he's very comfortable. Dennis self-admittedly will say that he's very comfortable when he has a purple hammer in his hand, so he's probably seeing what he likes right now.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen a left-hander without a purple in their hand.
Well, if you look down at 37 and 8,
Oh, I do see my friend on 37. Is that a gem?
That is a gem. So we got John Wilston down there on 37 and 8. He's actually throwing reactive. Pretty big ball, too.
It is a very big ball. I was not able to throw a gem.
Now, what type of equipment were you in today?
So I think when I started with a mindset on the fresh. And then once we transitioned to the second set, we bowled at 12:30. I definitely was using an exotic gem. It had no surface on it. And then there were some shots when we made it to the semifinals that I felt like I need to hit, my mindset with 1,000. And then we definitely hit a Black Widow 2.0 with 500. But, unfortunately, I didn't really have miss left to right.
Yeah.
So I 10-pinned when it wasn't exactly perfect, and I did lose my match by about 20. But, you win some, you lose some.
Absolutely. And just looking at our other matches here that we can see on the stream, again, down here to our right, we got Brandon Vallone bowling John Williston. Brandon is actually in a urethane ball. I think he's throwing a double cross. He started with the first 4, 7 spare strike. Wilston has strike, spare, double. So pretty close match there. Brandon actually just 6-pinned. Warren Guernsey here bowling Jesse Gibson on 35 and 6. Warren is actually started with a 3-bagger here. Jesse's off to a little bit of a slow start. And Warren actually just got done defeating our #1 overall seed. So he's bowling pretty well right now. Our match right here in front of us, again, we have Colby Hagemoser bowling Ryan Ladley. Colby just threw a double, so he's got 3 out of 4 with an open. Ryan, again, off to a little bit of a slow start here, looking for his first strike. And then the other match that you could probably see here on the left, we have Chris Monroy bowling Chris Soul. I see Monroy has double open spare. I can't see Soul. Are you able to see him around the pole?
I am. They're about tied. He has 57 in the third with 9 spare in the fourth. So they're about even.
So
going
again,
into the 5th grade.
And just kind of looking down to our left, we do have some pretty close matches down there. Like I'm looking at the Trans-Euphoria match. Looks like it's pretty close. Again, Dennis is bowling Bill Webb. It's a pretty close match. Each of them have at least a double. And unfortunately, we can't really see all the way down to 23 and 4, but we'll try to keep an eye on that as best we can.
And don't you find it interesting? I felt like in the first round of qualifying that there were some matches that were just blown away. And then all of these matches that we're seeing right now, they're very close.
Yeah, there were a few, quote-unquote blowouts in the first round. I did also see some matches that came down to, missed 9 spares.
100%.
Just, makeables that usually you don't see with these caliber of players missing. But, we did see some maybe not some squeezing, but maybe a little bit of pressure. Oh, and Guernsey, there's a messenger in front of the 10.
Well, I think it's a little bit difficult on this pattern, right? So
Yeah.
if you miss a little bit right, you maybe are not going to get to the pocket. You're going to go through the 3-pin. And so there is no real miss right or left. It depends upon your ball roll. Your ball roll really dictates how much miss you have left or right. And your hand, if you're left-handed or right-handed. Today I wanted to be left-handed.
Yeah, I would say just looking down across the center here, let's see, the Vallone and Wilson, they're both left-handed. Dennis is left-handed and Soul is left-handed. So in the top 16, I think we have 4 left-handers and 12 righties, which is usually a pretty good split for the left-handers.
I would
when
say
you see
that.
4 in the round of 16.
Yeah.
So this pattern definitely played, to both sides, and our Dennis being our defending champion, he actually defeated Chris Soul last year. So we have our first and second place finishers that are still in the round of 16 in this tournament.
Very interesting. And it looks like, I can only speak to the round that I was in. I missed the second round, but it looks like a very lower scoring pace than the first round of the semifinals. I don't know. You were watching. I was not watching. I unfortunately was bowling.
Yeah, I was able to get here and watch the entire round of qualifying for 12:30. they seem to play pretty even from, you know, on the left and right. It's just, like you said, it depended on your ball roll, what kind of tricks you had, what ball you were throwing. And if you were able to get lined up, there were definitely strikes to be had. But, again, you know, the match here in front of us, you can see, like, you just a little bit of miss. You miss it with your hand a little bit. You know, you're up the lane a little bit. It's very easy to get 9, or like you said, go right through the 3-pin.
Exactly. And I could be wrong, but I think on lane 35, Jesse throwing a phase 2.
I actually think he's in a DNA right now.
Is that? Okay,
yeah,
I
think
can't
he's in a
see.
DNA, which is something that he threw, I think, in the 930 squad, and he didn't have too much success. And he actually, this afternoon, threw a phase 5.
Okay.
So I think he likes the DNA more on the fresh. And as I say that, unfortunately, he misses the spare.
Right. And it's interesting to see what's happening on lane 34. We have a triple, and then we went right through the 3-pin on 34.
Okay, so this is a big spare. All right. So 5-3 for Colby here. That's going to give him 107 in the 6th. Which is 21 pins if Ryan was to get up and strike here. That's going to cut it to 11. So it looks like Wilston made a ball change off an open. Looks like he may only have 2-0 in the wood in that match.
Yeah, I think for 37 and 38, I think we may be pretty much out of the wood at that point.
Yeah, it looks like Valone just has to get up and get count here, and that's assuming that Wilston gets all 3 in the 10. Or make the spare.
And we miss a spare here. So I think that Brandon has secured his win.
Yep, that one is mathematically over. So we can pencil in Brandon into the round of 8. They actually bowled very fast.
They definitely
yeah,
do.
they're about 3 frames
Maybe
ahead
that's
of the
that
next
1
person.
lane, 2 lane courtesy.
Yes, remember everybody, it is now 1 lane courtesy here at NEBA.
But Amanda Broge doesn't love the 1 lane courtesy. We'll just leave it out there. But I think down here I can't really see those matches. But we're only into the 6th frame.
Yeah, they're a whole third of a game in front of everybody else.
That is pretty impressive.
It may have helped that they had nobody to their right.
Maybe, but still, I would think you would want to keep pace.
Absolutely.
With everybody else.
All right. And there it is again, a little bit right, a little out the window, and the ball just never recovered.
But you know what I really think it is? I think that people think that they can kind of cheat and they can open their angles a little bit. And I think on this pattern, you can't really open your shoulder. I really, really think that's what it is, because I think that when people think they can open their angle a little bit, they're kind of going out the window.
Yeah.
And that's when you see their ball going through the 3-pin.
So would you say it's more of one of those, you know, pointed over your big toe?
I would say, like, you need to get your ball going a little bit left off your hand. You can't really send it right. And then you're going through the 3-pin. And then I feel like some people are kind of throwing up their hands like they don't understand how that happened. But that's really how it's happened. If it's not getting, you know, kind of left off your hand and it's going right, it's going to go through the 3-pin. And you are going to split. If you're lucky, you might get 8.
Oh, Jesse, solid 9 there after an open. He was looking for a double to try to get back in the match there with Guernsey. Ladley here can step up and double and cut into the lead for Colby. And again, that's exactly what we were talking about.
So I feel like he did, and I did have the luxury of bowling Ryan. And he did have a little bit miss left and right. And so I think on 33 and 34, he doesn't have that luxury of a little bit miss to the left and to the right. And so he is seeing that when his ball goes down lane, it's not really reacting like it did when we bowled on 27 and 28.
Gotcha. All right, and then just looking at the match here with Forey and Sol, I do see, not Forey, I'm sorry, Monroy and Sol. Looks like Monroy here is a 94 in the 5th with a double. Sol I saw just threw a strike, and he's at 115 in the 6th on the strike. So you got a very close match there.
And 2 lefties, and I know Sol's using a purple. I'm unsure what Oh no, Monroy's not left-handed. He is right-handed.
No, but Dennis, right next door to him, is throwing a purple.
Dennis is right-handed.
Yeah.
I get them confused sometimes because
well, they are doubles partners.
I know. But it's my Bill Webb who's bowling on 29-30. So.
He is. He is currently down by 19.
Oh, all the love to Bill Webb.
Yeah,
we must give Bill Webb all the love.
He's bowling Dennis. He's currently down by 19. He's at 147 in the 7th. Dennis is at 166. Again, they're both on strikes.
All right.
Webb can step up here, throw a double to cut the deficit down to, or actually take the lead by 1, assuming Dennis doesn't strike on his next shot.
All right, and you talked about Forey a little bit earlier, but how is he doing here? I can't see that far.
Let's take a look here. So it looks like his opponent has 98 in the 6th with a strike in the 7th. Forey is at 94 in the 6th on a strike. So it looks like it's a 4-pin match. He's bowling Transu. They each do have, looks like Transu has 2 opens. Forey has 1 open, but Transu started with a double. So Forey is looking to step up here in the 7th, throw his first double, and take the lead in the match.
Okay, we have Bill Webb on lane 29. Oof,
right
that was a bucket. Flip 6. And on 34, we have a strike. It's a close match on 33 and 34.
Yeah, 11-pin match here, both on strikes. Looks like Monroy did leave a 10-pin. So, again, very close match between him and Sol. Guernsey stepping up here in the 9th. Looking for a double. He would have 232 out. Jesse looking at 206. And fast 8.
Fast. But is it a fast 8?
I'll give it to him.
Okay.
All right, Forey stepping up here. Again, he can take a 6-pin lead with a strike. He stuffs a 9.
All right, come on. We're going to spare this.
Colby stepping up here on a strike. Again, he has 11-pin lead. I think he likes that one.
That was a good shot. I do feel like I will say in this center, and I do really love this center, but I will say pair-to-pair it is very difficult.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
if you feel like, oh, I'm lined in on this pair, and I'm playing here, and then you move, it is not the same.
I will say towards the lower end of the house, there is a part of the center where there's a drop-off because they have the ramp.
Yeah.
And for the right-handers, I'm not sure if you hit that pair, where the ramp is, it's almost as if you're bowling uphill on one lane.
Well, there was some discrepancy about lanes 13 and 14. I luckily did not hit lanes 13 and 14. I think maybe the last game of my second set. But there was some discrepancy around those lanes. But definitely there was a difference between the high end and the low end. But I do think in the center pair-to-pair,
oh, absolutely,
there definitely is a struggle, especially if you're right-handed. Left-handers today, I think, definitely had the advantage over us.
All right, Jesse unfortunately did not get the double there. Left it's at 257. Looks like Guernsey is going to take that match. Sol is stepping up here with a chance for a 3-bagger. That will give him a slight advantage over Monroy. So, oh, and he stuffs an 8-pin.
Let's see what Chris is doing. Is he on lane 27?
Yes, he's stepping up on 27 right now after the 9-pin. And 210.
Okay.
So Transu's going to have a chance to step up and really solidify that match.
Ooh, and Dennis on lane 30 just left a split.
Yeah. It's like 379. Webb is still clean. He has a 167 in the 8th with a spare, so he can bowl 217.
And what does Dennis have?
Dennis right now is at 166 in the 7th, strike in the 8th with a 7 split in the 9th. So he's looking at, 2-teen if he goes off the sheet. So we're looking at, 224 to 217. So Dennis is going to need a double and 4 to win that match.
And he is very capable of doing that.
And it looks like Colby is going to take this match right here in front of us. So he'll be moving on to the round of 8.
Okay,
Warren
and
Guernsey, yep.
yeah, on lanes 35 and 36, Jesse is unfortunately out.
Guernsey's just going to need to keep it on the lane and behind the foul line. All right, Dennis stepping up here in the 10. Posted it, and he strikes.
All right.
Looks like Colby's going through a couple of different balls here to see which one he likes best.
I think that's a smart decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I definitely think pair to pair, and I also think as the transition happens, you need to be mindful about what balls you're throwing. If you're not, you know, left-handed and throwing a purple hammer, or Chris Forey throwing a purple hammer.
All right, so Transu stepping up here. Again, the chance to kind of solidify the match, and he 2-8, the 10 goes late. So again, that match is going to stay relatively close because Forey, he made the 2-10.
He did make the spare. Okay. You know, I'm always rooting for Forey. I'm sorry to say that.
All right, big shot for Dennis off camera.
Oh,
6
9.
pin.
Okay.
That is going to give Bill Webb an opportunity to get up and double and beat him. So.
Okay, so Bill Webb needs a double.
Yes.
And he's going to go on lane 30.
Yep, he'll be stepping up on lane 30 here momentarily. You may be able to see it on the far left-hand side of the screen. He'll be stepping up on the right-hand lane here in just a second. And he's going to need a double and 8 to win that match. And then Monroy, first one in the 10th is a winner. Spare strike, assuming Soul strikes here, is actually going to be a tie.
And that is very possible here in the center.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see what Bill Webb's going to do on lane 30.
So there's a guy who needed a double in the 10th.
I know, Bill Webb is the guy.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be on the short list.
My pick, for sure. Let's see.
All right, so Webb, you'll see him in his approach here. Gets the
Alright,
first
he got
one.
the first one. Fun fact about Bill Webb. So I'm only 37, but my 50th anniversary present I want is Bill Webb's team challenge photo signed, because he used to have the Bon Jovi hair, you know, and that is what I want for my 50th birthday.
If you couldn't tell that Monroy needed that one,
I could tell.
I think you
I
could
could tell from over here. I mean, you know, he got it.
he did. All right, so Monroy is going to move on in that match. Webb stepping up here again. Needs this one in 8.
I mean, Bill Webb doesn't squeeze, so let's see what he does. Let's see. That looks like 10.
All right,
I mean,
so
that's Bill Webb.
All right. Transu shooting his spare there in the 9th. They still got a close match between Joey and
I said,
Forey.
so we're on to Forey, right? So Bill Webb has won his match, or no?
He needs 8.
I can't see.
He needs 8.
Okay, he needs 8. And Monroy?
He has won. He doubled.
He doubled, so he won. That's it.
And I can't tell the Viali match down there with Coco.
I can't
saw Coco
see
split
either.
in the 9th. That sounded like a strike.
We need to be younger. We need better eyes.
Well, you're only 37.
Only 37. I'm 21. What are you talking about?
All right, so Webb stepping up here again. Needs 8. 7 will tie, 8 will win.
I have full confidence in Webb that he is going to get. He got enough. All right.
That is enough.
My man, right there. All right, now we need Forey to.
So if I can, if my eyes aren't deceiving me,
I can't
it looks
see
like,
that far.
It looks like Transu may have.
Is it 148 with 9
I think it's
spare?
148. He looks like he has 198.
And Forey has 132 with 9
He
spare?
can shoot 212.
Okay.
So he has ball in hand here.
All right, come on, Forey. This is it. He can do it, I know. He has a purple.
Oh, through the face.
All right. So I can't see. Does he have 150 in the 8th and 8 will be spare in the ninth?
Yes, he still has
And
the 10th
Joey
frame.
has 148 in the 8th and 8 spare for the ninth?
So,
Or no?
yes, I think it's a 2-pin match.
Okay.
Assuming Chris makes a spare, which I think
I'm going to make that assumption.
you're going to make
yes.
that.
I am. I'm confident.
No
that-
commentator's curse on this one?
No.
All right.
There's no curse.
I like the confidence.
He's going to just make it. No curse. No curse here. It's a 2-6, right? Come on, he's got this.
3-6. All right. So again, off camera. Can't really tell what's going on in the Coco Viali match.
Do you want me to run over there? I could look real cute while I run.
If you'd like. Let's see. Viali's looking at it like it matters. Again, it's really hard to tell.
It is hard to tell. He looks like he built 167, and Coco looks like he built 185. If I had to like guess from my eyesight, does that look about
that looks
correct?
about right.
Okay.
So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to focus on the 4E
Yes.
Transu match. So again, looking at the scores, Transu has 198 in the wood. 4E has ball in hand, stepping up here on the left lane. In the 10th, he can bowl 200.
We need all 3 here in the 10th for 40. Sorry, Joey's beat me too many times. I'm allowed to say that, right?
Gets the
40
first
got
one.
the first one, okay.
Now, I am willing to bet that if he gets the second one, we may hear him over our microphone.
Well,
on the
I
live
might
stream.
yell if he gets a second one.
I could turn your mic down.
You
if
should
want.
probably turn my mic down. If he gets a second one, I might yell. You never know. It might be a loud yell. We need 40 to get the second one here. He will yell.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet we'll hear him through the
Right,
microphone.
so he can strike out for 200 even.
Yes.
And then Joey can strike out for, is
198.
it 198?
Yep.
Okay. I was like, I can't really see. But 40 needs a second one here. So you should probably turn my mic down.
I'll turn it down a little
Okay,
bit.
just a little bit. We need 40 here.
Okay, he's in his approach.
All right, let's see. Come on.
Says it's left.
Oh, okay, we got 8. All right, 8 spare is all right. We're going to spare it, and then we're going to sit on the bench and wait and see.
Yep, and then Trans is going to have a chance to get
Right.
up.
He is. If he gets all 3 in the 10th, winner, winner, chicken dinner.
He's going to need, double and 3, assuming 40 makes this. Which, again, I think we can pencil him in for the 3-6.
Yes, we can. Although the 3-6 is like the enemy.
It's definitely one where if you catch it, you can chop the 3 off. You miss it, you can just
I
push it
chopped
past
it
the 3.
twice today. All right,
All
he
over.
got both. Okay. All right. So let's see what Joey does in the 10th. He's up on lane, is that 29? 28.
Yeah.
28.
Let's see. Yeah, he's going to be up on 28. Yep. You again, not on stream, but you may be able to see him on the far left-hand side of the screen there. So Joey's actually up on 28 right now. See the ball going down the lane. Ring 10, and that is going to push 40 on to the
Okay.
round of 8.
So 40 is making it to the round of 8.
All right, so that is going to end it for the round of 16 here. Amanda, thank you so much for joining me in the booth.
Thank you for having me. I hope I did an okay job.
I think you did great.
Oh, thank
So
you.
we're gonna end this portion of the stream. We will be back for the round of 8. Thank you, everyone.